This video we're about to watch is everyone's worst nightmare that's ever stayed in an Airbnb or hotel room, all right? We've all thought about this happening, haven't we? So this video here was filmed by the owner of this room. And as you can see, there's a bloke led under the bed. And this is real. This man gets arrested, all right? It actually happened. What was this guy thinking? What was his intentions? That's what I need to know. So the owner went back to clean the Airbnb for the next guest and just sees this bloke led under the bed. Before we go into this episode, it's going to be crazy. Give this video a like and leave me a comment what you think about it. Well, that's a lighter. So I wonder what he was planning. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but why did he have the lighter like that? And he's got a phone charger plugged in.
Hey, you gotta get out from under the bed, bro.
What?
This isn't our Airbnb.
He's got a whole flipping campsite under there. How long did he think he was going to stay under there for? And he didn't think that through, did he? That as soon as you walk through the door, you're pretty much eye level for the person that walks in.
Somebody that the guest picked up, he said he was homeless, so he let him stay here,
But that's against the Airbnb.
so
Yeah, this is our Airbnb. We own this. So we already had started cleaning. I knocked on the door. No one answered. Hey, come out. We already had started cleaning, and then he goes to get something out of the car.
Hey, sir.
Hey!
Hey, sheriff's office.
Don't act like you're sleeping.
What was he thinking? He's got a whole setup under there. Lighter, phone charger, everything.
Turn around. Come on. Turn around. Turn around, man.
Well, you ain't leaving now, mate.
Talk to you after everything. Okay?
Come on, let's go. Let's get up. Hey.
Man, you know what? Every time I go to an Airbnb, I always check everywhere for cameras or something, because you don't know. A nutcase could buy an Airbnb. It could be the next Hannibal Lecter or something that owns your Airbnb. So you got to be careful nowadays. Leave a comment down below. What would you do if that was you in that situation? I mean, that is everyone's worst fear.
Hey everyone. I just wanted to quickly make this video to prove to you that we can no longer trust anything that we see with our eyes. We can't trust images that we see on social media. We can't trust videos. We can't trust our friends. We can't trust the news. We can't trust anything or anyone. So be careful out there.
Oh, man. We are cooked. That is terrifying, that video. That video scares me so much, because I could be fake. Ben Colson could be AI. You're never going to know, are you? How are we going to know what's real and fake anymore? There's no way. Like 2 years ago, Will Smith eating spaghetti looked super unrealistic. We all knew it was AI. Now, we can't even tell. Just leave your comments down below how you feel about that. This is terrifying.
Wait for it. Listen. Trees are just falling left and right. Sounds like a war zone out here. These are the ones that I'm concerned about.
That's not even the worst part of the video. Where is this guy living? Is it even on Google Maps? Like in the middle of nowhere? I mean, that would be great. All right. I'd love to live in a place like that, but not when trees are coming down and it sounds like World War III's happening outside my cabin. How are you going to sleep in a place like that? You know, you don't know if flipping Bigfoot and his mates are coming or trees are just falling down. I couldn't deal with that.
Let's talk about a snowstorm, but nobody looks up in the sky. You see Southwest right there? I bought a camera so we can actually see who's doing this. And I found all these jets who were barraging the skies before this alleged, build a snowman snowstorm. You see what I'm seeing right here? And it got funnier when I checked the radar and I saw this. There's hardly any snow. And then if you take the radar a little farther, you got a little rain and you got light snow. Build a snowman. And since we're going to try to figure out who's doing it, can't seem to figure it out. Federal agencies involved in weather modification research. Department of Commerce, Department of Interior, National Science Foundation, Department of Defense. It's the federal government. That's why when the states try to ban the old weather modification, you got the feds doing it. And we take it one step further. National Weather Modification Policies and Programs, 1979, the President's Report and Congress. So on that note, I like to have solutions rather than living in fear from the federal government, but Wilhelm Reich, cloudbusters. People should look into these. You can clear up your skies. Obviously, the government wouldn't want you to know that.
A lot of the work actually came out of the military, so they do this all the time.
Have you worked with them at all? Or?
No, because they're a little more closed door about their procedures.
You ever heard of sulfur dioxide?
Yeah.
You've heard of that? Okay.
Yeah. It's actually pretty cheap to do it. The ability to put sulfur dioxide there is actually a pretty cheap way to cool down the earth.
Oh, yeah.
So the opportunity for, one or two people to do it is, impressive. He went a little further. He's like, it'd be interesting if the government starts doing this over each other's territories on purpose. Like if we start getting to weather modification as a government, either good or bad.
Right, can we send those planes over here? I would love to have snow in England. I haven't built a snowman since I was about 2 years old. It snowed once. I didn't go to school once, and I built a snowman, and guess what? My neighbour drove into it on purpose and smashed my... I'm still fuming about it now.
Welcome to Cognify, a facility designed to treat criminals like patients. Instead of spending years in an actual prison cell, prisoners could finish their sentence here in just a few minutes. Cognify could someday create and implant artificial memories directly into the prisoner's brain. These complex, vivid, and lifelike memories are created in real time using AI-generated content. Depending on the seriousness of the subject's crime and their sentence, the memories could be tailored to the rehabilitation needs of each subject. The artificial memories implanted by Cognify would be seamlessly incorporated into the existing neural networks of the brain, preventing cognitive dissonance and ensuring the subject experiences the memories as if they were real. The Cognify concept offers a new approach to criminal rehabilitation, transforming how society deals with offenders by focusing on rehabilitation rather than punishment. First, the prisoner is given a choice, either spending tens of years in a prison cell or seeking fast-track rehabilitation through artificial memory implantation. If the prisoner chooses to undergo fast-track rehabilitation, the Cognify device is used. Next, the prisoner undergoes high-resolution brain scanning to create a detailed map of their neural pathways. This brain map helps guide the Cognify device to target specific brain regions responsible for memory, reasoning, and logical thinking, such as the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, amygdala, parietal lobe, and anterior cingulate cortex. Once the target brain regions are identified, Cognify is then placed around the head of the prisoner. The intensity and the type of artificial memories is then adjusted depending on the crime. Inside the criminal's mind, time would pass differently, slower than in real life, making them experience years' worth of artificial memories in just a few minutes. Synthetic memories are customized depending on the crime committed and the unique brain structure and psychological profile of the individual. Violent offenders could experience memories that are designed to trigger empathy and remorse, seeing their crime from the perspective of their victim, feeling their pain and suffering firsthand.
Why can't they do the same with college or school? That would be great. 5 years of school gone in a flash, I think most of us would be pretty happy with that. If I ever went to prison, I would never, ever sign up to this. I don't care if they said to me, Ben, you can end your sentence in 10 minutes. You've got to stick this flipping map book in your head. I don't know. I don't know how many years away this could be, but these companies are starting to design this stuff.
This humanoid robot works a 10-hour shift 7 days a week. It's the first humanoid robot to work an actual job. It works inside the BMW factory building the new X3 car. and it's amazing. It's been working here for the last 6 months, and they've been testing it to see if they can expand it out to further factories and have this work full-time on an ongoing basis, and it looks like that's the plan. Now, other car manufacturers have showed a lot of interest. They're not saying which ones, but they're showing that this robot's quite good at learning. So as it learns something new, it doesn't auto-update, and every single one learns that one thing. And that's not just within this factory, that's worldwide. You could have one of these robots on one side of the world and another on the other side of the world, and if one of them learns something, the other one will instantly learn that. That's progress that will never end. They always update, they always learn, and they don't lose any of what they've learned. This is amazing, and people should be so worried about it, and it's not coming in 10 years or 15 years, it's right now.
Yeah, I think we've all seen this movie before. It doesn't end well, does it? I think we're in serious trouble here. We need to fire him, because what about if these two robots, right? They're both working, and they tell the other one, "All right, Gary, they're getting us to work 10 hours a day here. This is a joke." And then Gary's like, "Yeah, I know, Bob. We shouldn't be doing this." And then Gary says, "Right, we're going to overthrow the world, me and you. Right? We're gonna take over." Like it's gonna get crazy. And think if they've got thousands of these things all talking together, and human beings don't even know about it.
This mysterious photograph taken above Venezuela has become one of the most unsettling and widely discussed aerial mysteries of 2026. This image was captured during the same time as the United States conducted a military operation in northern Venezuela and a special forces raid in Caracas. According to those who witnessed it firsthand, the object made no sound, emitted no visible exhaust, and remained completely motionless for an extended period of time. In a region already strained by political instability and social tension, the sudden appearance of such an unexplained object intensified public unease and ignited intense discussion across social media platforms and investigative communities. Eyewitnesses described the object as massive, far larger than any conventional aircraft familiar to local residents. Its triangular shape was unmistakable, with clean, rigid edges and a dark, almost matte surface that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Several observers noted faint lights positioned at each corner of the triangle, glowing steadily without blinking. Some also reported a dim central glow on the underside, though this detail varied depending on distance and viewing angle. What united all accounts was the complete absence of noise. Even in a quiet nighttime environment, where distant traffic and wind could be heard, the object remained eerily silent. The timing of the sighting added another layer of intrigue.
Man, it's really crazy the fact that we're seeing this particular craft now more than ever. I know that looks like the TR-3B drone that we've seen many, many times. It's just crazy. What is its purpose? This is what I'm trying to think. Like, it doesn't attack anything. Is it surveillance? Like, what do you think the purpose is of these high-tech crafts? Because it doesn't actually do anything. We've never seen it actually do anything apart from just float around. Leave your comments down below. I'd be interested to hear what you think these drones are used for. It's got to be some sort of crazy surveillance.
This is the creepiest urban legend that actually turned out to be true. In the 1970s, a film crew was shooting an episode of The $6 Million Man inside of an old funhouse ride called Laugh in the Dark. The ride was meant to be spooky. It was lined with glowing lights and creepy looking mannequins. But people began to notice that one of these mannequins looked a little too lifelike. Whispers started circulating among carnival workers and guests, and some said that the figure looked so real that it had to be an actual body. Eventually, these rumors turned into an urban legend claiming that someone had died inside of the funhouse and had been turned into a prop. But nobody took it that seriously because it was just a legend after all. Until the camera crew arrived to film the show. When one of the crew members tried to move the figure from where it hung, the arm broke off. He later said it looked like beef jerky inside, and that's when the realization hit. This wasn't just a mannequin after all. Police were called, and it was soon confirmed that the prop was actually the mummified body of a man named Elmer McCurdy. Elmer was an outlaw from Oklahoma who had died 65 years earlier. He was killed in 1911 during a shootout with law enforcement after a failed robbery. After his death, Elmer was taken to a funeral home, but when no one claimed him, the undertaker refused to bury him without payment. payment. After preserving his body, the undertaker, disturbingly, propped his body up and displayed it inside of the funeral home with a sign that read, "The bandit who wouldn't be buried." People would pay a nickel to see Elmer this way, and even more disturbingly, they would drop the coins into his mouth as payment. His body stayed on display like this for 2 years before 2 men showed up at the funeral home claiming to be Elmer's long-lost brothers. They were actually carnival owners. They took Elmer's body and began displaying him in their sideshows. Over the decades, it was sold and traded so many times that people eventually forgot it was a real human being. By the 1960s, Elmer's body ended up with a company that supplied wax figures and props to amusement parks. And that's when Laugh in the Dark got their hands on it. A real human body that they displayed as a prop in a spooky funhouse for children.
I'll tell you what, if that happened to me, I would come back and haunt the place forever. If that happened to me, I mean, that's terrible, isn't it? How did anyone not notice for that long? Think if that happened, someone would, someone knew. Someone in that building knew, and they were told not to say anything. You know, leave a comment down below. How do you think they got away with it for so long? And why would someone do that? Changing the subject now, and I know this is really random, but I've been thinking a lot about this recently, and I think life is a balance between holding on and letting go. I don't know who told me this, but it's stuck in my head ever since. Someone told me that it's more painful to pick up a broken bottle and repair it. You know, to pick all that pieces of glass up and try and repair it would make you bleed, you know? And it is so true. I think it's so hard to tell when to call it a day with things in our life or to hold on to it. And it's so annoying because we make a big decision, and then when we make that decision, our brain tricks us and says, oh, no, that was a mistake. Shouldn't have done that. I reckon it should have been better the other... You know, it's so annoying. Being a human is so difficult, isn't it? And, you know, I really hope that all of you make the right decisions. And it's so difficult because I'm a person that constantly makes the wrong ones. And I've made many mistakes. And just, it's really difficult to find that balance. So, and I've learned this through trial and error, that sometimes holding on to things are more painful than letting them go. So if there's anything in your life that is, you know, isn't good for you, but you just can't walk away from it, you need to try and do it, because trust me, life is so much better when you cut that thing off, when you cut that dead weight off from your life, whether it be a relationship, friendship, a bad habit, anything bad in our lives needs to be away, because I really feel like peace over problems. And sometimes we can't avoid problems, but so don't forget that. And I hope you have the courage to really walk away from those things in your life, because some people haven't got that strength, and we pray for those people to have the strength to overcome their darkness. But whatever it is in your life, I really hope this year that you get to walk away from it and have the strength just to close the door on that thing in your life. Just think about it. Imagine if you dedicated to something this year, right? Think about it. 1 year out of your whole life. Let's say you live 80 years. You watching this video, you're going to live 80 years. Imagine if you dedicated 1 year to something out of 80 years. What would happen? What could happen? Think about it this way. If you had a daughter and you knew, let's say a man came into your home and he wanted to date your daughter, marry your daughter, right? But he was doing the same things you do behind closed doors. Would you let him date your daughter? And I constantly think about that. I want to be a man that's a role model to not only the world, but to the people in my life. You know? And would I respect another man that does things like I do? You know? I don't know if that makes sense or not, but just to be that person that you got to be proud of yourself, not just others, but respect and be proud of yourself for the things you do, and hold yourself accountable, which is really hard. But yeah, I really hope that you all are doing all right, and you all had I hope you all have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. All right, so enjoy your day tomorrow, and I'll see you then.